So the developers have finally posted a developer blog on the upcoming Dragon Hunts for Module 23, supposedly coming on June the 14th. That is yet to be confirmed, however. Now you can read through the blog yourself, there'll be a link in the description below, but I'll simply go over what it explains. And you'll essentially be fighting each of the 5 types of dragons, as we can see here: green, blue, black, red, and ice. And each of them will have their own different layers, from your icy peaks to your volcanic depths, and then you will have hunt modifiers to make the difficulty harder, and then of course you will have the 3 different aged dragons, so that will be from your young to your adult to your ancient, each one having more mechanics than the previous. You will be heading to Sergeant Knox once the module goes live, picking up the quest on the hunt. And unfortunately we don't get like an entire new area with these dragon hunts, but we do get 3 additional queues, which are these here, which each of them have its unique area depending on which dragon. Now when you go in Protector's Enclave, you will find a expansion area. We'll head here and you'll get like a cutscene, and you can see all the NPCs there discussing amongst themselves, and essentially the dragon hunter has come with his band and he would like some adventurers to help him slay some dragons. Apparently something happened with Dragonbone Vale, and you know how with the Scale Blight summon Valindra exploded this Mythalar, and supposedly in the dev blog now dragons have become a problem. Now they've reworked the dragons so they are much more intelligent threats worthy of the D&D name. They're more mobile, dynamic, and they're going to have a lot more abilities, from even taking flight. And I can show you a clip of that here. We're fighting a blue dragon and he finally starts flying. The lower the damage your group has, the more likely you will actually see these dragons actually flying and using their mechanics while in the air. You can still attack them as a melee DPS, that isn't a problem. But overall, these dragon hunts are some great fun, at least from the beginning. Unfortunately, it's going to be quite a grind to get our gear, but it can also be a plus side since it is an MMO, an MMORPG where you play with lots of people and you kind of want to be playing content all the time. Of course, you don't want to be doing the same content all the time. I would like more areas in the game to give the reagents that these dragons do, but the worry is that you would then just run whichever content's the easiest. And so just having these dragon hunts, each time you go and queue up to it, you'll get one of the 5 different dragons, and each of them have their own unique abilities. We're fighting this ancient green dragon. He puts these poison areas on the ground, and overall he's one of the least threatening ones in my opinion. The white one's also pretty mild to defeat. However, all of this is open to change, with this still only being in testing on preview. We may very well see them becoming more threatening. We fought this ancient red one, and his damage over time effects with the red fire areas on the ground can be really harming, especially when you're not playing with an additional healer. We were lucky here to get a series of mechanics, and this time around we didn't get much fire on the ground. And we can see here again he's also flying. It really depends how much damage and how quickly you kill them. The longer you take to kill them, the less likely they'll do certain mechanics, which flying seems to be one of them, so it won't be something you see all the time. You can see he's breathing all over Buffy the tank there. And you can read through some examples of what they show. They show then and now, what the dragons are like. They can even go on their back feet, cast spells like this, and overall do all sorts of different things. We fought a blue dragon and he uses the bloodbath, and that's the ability that your rogue would have to go invisible and dash between each target. So you would also have encountered the final boss in Cragmire would do that as well, and it can be pretty lethal if you don't immunity frame that damage. We are of course getting an additional campaign. It will be a campaign that will take 7 weeks to complete, with a weekly haul of 80 560 progress points. All you get is a boon point at the end, only one, keep in mind, and the rewards are pretty meh. You're just gonna get it for the sake of it, for getting the titles and I guess the novelty. I have a bunch of progress here on this character and managed to get the title, and it's quite a brutal grind. Since getting the weekly haul, you need 80 of those Dragon's Ridges. You only get a total of 7 of them when you defeat them, as you can see right there. But this campaign will be a side thing, as you'll generally just be going after this mythic gear from Ancient Dragons that has plenty of best in slot stuff, which I'm going to go over in another video. You can get some epic stuff as well, and they have made some adjustments so that getting the epic gear, you can see here in my document, there'll be a link to the video that I posted on how to make the gear in the video description below. And if you saw that video and saw the document in it, you would have seen that the Ancient Dragon kills for this epic gear was like something ridiculous of like 17 Ancient Dragon kills per piece of gear. Now it's significantly less, and that's because the amount of drops you get for these dragon scales has essentially not been split amongst party members anymore. Everybody gets a huge chunk. Like killing an Ancient Dragon, you get 36 of those scales. Still be having to kill plenty of the adult dragons if you can't kill ancient ones, but realistically most people are going to be able to find groups to kill ancient dragons at this point. And this is what I mean by the mechanic of the dragon standing on his back two feet there. It kind of hits you and attacks you a bit like a dinosaur, what it reminds me of, but sure. It just changes things up a bit, makes the fight a bit more interesting. And that's about it for the developer blog. Overall, again, there'll be a link in the video description below where you can read through it. Not a whole lot of details, nothing new that I haven't gone over in my previous videos. You can see what it looks like here to have all of the modifiers maxed out, and the very good thing is you don't consume them once you use them. You simply go and activate them on your hunt, choosing up to a maximum of 3, giving you those negative effects, but also increasing the rate at which you get rewards. You essentially get a guaranteed drop if you have like a hard or extreme on tier 3. And once you've chosen, your hunt activates and you get this screen where you can read a bit about your dragon, see what type it is, and so on. Overall, I'm looking forward to these dragon hunts. They should be some good fun, at least at the beginning of the module. First, you'll have to go through that grind of essentially getting them ancient dragons unlocked, making sure you have a group to run with. Most likely, a lot of people will have them unlocked, and then you can probably just queue up with randoms. The difficulty really isn't that hard on these dragon hunts. You can even just run ancient dragons with 3 people there. You might get a few deaths. You might need to pick each other up, because as sure as hell nobody's going to be using scrolls on the live server for these. And with that said, I'd like to give a special thank you to all of my channel members for helping me keep my channel going. And if I presented this well, consider leaving the video a like. And if you're new around here, consider subscribing. We'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.